Have you ever noticed that some of the smartest people you know, doctors, engineers, MBA grads, still struggle with money? These are people who can solve complex problems, ace exams, and think critically about everything in life, except their own finances. It doesn't make sense at first. How can someone intelligent enough to design a bridge or perform surgery still be living paycheck to paycheck? The truth is, it's not about knowledge. It's about behavior. Smart people often think their intelligence protects them from making financial mistakes, but that's exactly what traps them. Because money doesn't care about how high your IQ is. It cares about how disciplined you are, how patient you can be, and whether you can control your emotions when things get uncomfortable. And the scariest part? Most of them don't even realize what's keeping them broke. They believe they're doing everything right, working hard, earning well, staying busy. But deep down, they're stuck in invisible psychological traps that quietly drain their wealth. Trap number 1. The intelligence illusion. One of the biggest traps smart people fall into is something called the intelligence illusion, the belief that intelligence automatically translates into financial success. They think, I'm smart, I'll figure it out later, or I can always outthink the market. So they delay investing, they overspend on lifestyle, or they take big financial risks believing logic will save them. But here's the truth. Money doesn't reward IQ, it rewards behavior. The most successful investors aren't always the smartest. They're the most disciplined. Research from Dalbar, a financial analytics firm, shows that the average investor dramatically underperforms the market. Not because they're dumb, but because they make emotional decisions. They buy when prices rise and sell when they fall. Meanwhile, the quiet, patient investor who simply puts money into an index fund and forgets about it often ends up richer. Warren Buffett once said, "The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient." That quote perfectly captures the intelligence illusion. Smart people tend to believe they can predict what comes next. They overanalyze, overtrade, and overcomplicate. But money doesn't reward cleverness. It rewards calmness. So the irony is painful. The smarter someone is, the more likely they are to overthink themselves into poverty. Because financial success isn't a test you can ace. It's a game you win by staying humble, consistent, and patient. Trap number 2. The lifestyle validation trap. The second trap is what I call the lifestyle validation trap. When smart people use money to prove their success instead of build it. It's one of the biggest reasons why so many intelligent, high-earning professionals end up broke or financially stuck. See, when you've spent your whole life achieving top grades, top jobs, top performance, your identity becomes tied to being successful. So when you finally start earning a decent income, there's pressure, both internal and external, to show it. The luxury car, the branded clothes, the upscale apartment, they all become symbols that say, I made it. But here's the problem. That validation doesn't build wealth. It destroys it quietly, month after month. It's not that smart people don't know better. It's that they're experts at rationalizing. They tell themselves things like, I work hard, I deserve this, or I'll save later once I'm earning more. But lifestyle creep, the tendency to increase spending as income rises, is one of the most powerful wealth killers there is. You don't notice it happening until it's too late. Take doctors, lawyers, and executives as an example. Many earn six-figure salaries, yet according to studies by the American Medical Association and CNBC, a shocking number of high-income professionals live paycheck to paycheck. Not because they're underpaid, but because their spending rises in lockstep with their earnings. They lease luxury cars, buy homes at the edge of their budgets, and dine out frequently, all to maintain an image of success. But here's the irony. The people they're trying to impress are usually too busy trying to impress someone else. So everyone's playing the same exhausting game, working harder to afford things that don't make them wealthier. True wealth isn't about looking rich. It's about having freedom, the ability to say no, to walk away, to choose your time. But when your lifestyle owns you, your freedom disappears. Smart people stay broke because they confuse high income with wealth and validation with value. Trap number 3, the overconfidence bias. The third trap that keeps smart people broke is overconfidence bias. The belief that being skilled in one area automatically makes you skilled in another, especially money. A doctor assumes that if they can perform surgery, they can also manage investments. An engineer thinks if they can solve complex systems, personal finance should be easy. But money isn't just logic and equations. It's emotion, patience, and timing. This is where many smart people go wrong. They underestimate how much behavioral bias drives their financial decisions. In investing, overconfidence leads to excessive trading, trying to time the market, or chasing the next big stock. According to a famous study published in the Journal of Finance, investors who traded the most earned significantly lower returns than those who traded less. Not because they lacked knowledge, but because they couldn't admit they were wrong. And that's the core issue. Smart people hate being wrong. They're used to being right in classrooms, at work, in arguments. So when it comes to money, they treat it like another intellectual puzzle to solve. But the market doesn't reward intelligence. It rewards humility. The people who quietly invest consistently, stay patient through the noise, and admit when they don't know something. Those are the ones who win over time. Here's the irony. The smarter you are, the harder it is to accept that your instincts might betray you. Financial success demands the exact opposite of what traditional intelligence rewards. It requires emotional surrender, not control. That's why the market punishes ego, but rewards patience. Trap number 4, the delayed reality problem. The fourth trap is the delayed reality problem. The dangerous belief that you'll start managing money later. Smart people are especially guilty of this because they assume time is on their side. They think, I'll start saving when I earn more, or once I pay off this, then I'll invest. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The longer you wait, the harder the game becomes. This mindset creates what psychologists call temporal discounting, the tendency to undervalue future rewards compared to immediate gratification. In simpler terms, your brain tricks you into believing that future you will be more disciplined, more organized, more ready. But future you faces the same distractions, same habits, and same excuses, just with more bills and more responsibilities. Lifestyle inflation makes this even worse. A person earning $4,000 a month thinks they'll start saving when they hit $6,000. Then, at $6,000, expenses magically rise to $6,000. It never ends. A CNBC report found that nearly 60% of people earning over $100,000 a year live paycheck to paycheck. Not because they don't earn enough, but because they never built the habit of saving early. The truth is, you can't out-earn bad financial habits. The people who start small, early, and consistently, even with modest income, almost always end up wealthier than the high earners who plan to start later. Compound growth rewards the early, not the intelligent. So while smart people are waiting for the perfect time to start investing, wealth is quietly slipping away to those who already began. The perfect time doesn't exist. The moment you understand that is the moment you stop being broke. Trap number 5, the fear of simplicity. The fifth and final trap that keeps smart people broke is the fear of simplicity. It sounds strange, but the smarter someone is, the more likely they are to overcomplicate money. They believe that success must come from complexity, that if something is simple, it can't possibly be powerful. So instead of sticking to proven strategies, saving consistently, investing in index funds, managing expenses, they chase complexity. They dive into crypto speculation, day trading, high-risk startups, or exotic hacks to get rich faster. But here's the paradox. Wealth loves simplicity. Look at the data. The most successful long-term investors, From Warren Buffett to Jack Bogle, the founder of Vanguard, all preach the same boring advice. Buy quality, diversify, hold for decades, and let compounding do the work. Yet every year, millions of smart people ignore that advice because it sounds too easy. They want to feel smart, not just be smart. This obsession with complexity often comes from ego. Smart people want to intellectualize money to prove their intelligence in every decision. But as Morgan Housel says, good investing isn't about making brilliant decisions. It's about avoiding stupid ones. The real difference between the rich and the broke isn't brain power. It's self-awareness. The rich respect time, discipline, and simplicity. The broke chase validation, perfection, and complexity. The moment you realize that wealth is more about psychology than equations, you step out of the trap and into freedom. If this video made you rethink how you see money, do 2 quick things. Like this video so YouTube knows this message matters. Subscribe for more breakdowns on the psychology of money, investing, and behavior. And drop a comment below. Which trap hit you the hardest? Because awareness is the first step toward freedom. Once you see the trap, you can finally step out of it.